Our world is in the middle of this absolutely monumental shift. It's a change that's really going to define our future. We're talking about moving away from the energy sources that built our modern world and embracing cleaner, more sustainable ones. So let's just dive right in and explore this global shift to renewable energy. So, to really get why this shift is so urgent, we have to start right here. Our planet is warming up, and the main reason, the biggest cause, is the energy we use every single day. Burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas, is the single biggest driver of climate change. This one fact really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about.
Okay, so let's officially frame the problem. Why isn't this change just a nice idea, but an absolute undeniable necessity?
And here it is, the single most crucial point. When you look at everything we do as humans, the way we generate power and heat is by far the number one source of the greenhouse gases warming our world. So what does that mean? It means fixing our energy system isn't just one of the solutions, it is the solution we have to get right. All right, enough about the problem, because the good news is we actually have this incredible toolkit of solutions ready to go. So let's break down the 5 major types of renewable energy that are paving our way forward. Let's kick things off with the most powerful energy source we've got, the sun. It's pretty amazing, right? Solar panels use these things called photovoltaic cells to turn sunlight directly into electricity. Right now, it's the third largest renewable source out there, generating about 3.7% of the world's electricity, but get this, it's growing faster than any other source. Next up, we've got wind. Those gigantic turbines you see spinning on the horizon, they are incredible pieces of engineering. They literally capture the raw power of the wind and turn it into electricity. And here's a fun fact, a single modern turbine can have up to 8,000 different parts. All told, wind power gives us about 6.6% of our global electricity. So you might be wondering, what's really driving this boom in solar? Well, it all comes down to the money. Between 2010 and 2020, the cost of making electricity from solar just plummeted. We're talking an incredible 85% drop. And this wasn't some kind of magic trick. It was thanks to massive improvements in manufacturing and science, making solar one of the cheapest power options we have today, period. Now, hydropower, this one's kind of the old veteran of the renewable world. By building dams and controlling the flow of water, we can spin turbines and generate huge amounts of clean electricity. In fact, it's still the single largest source of renewable electricity on the entire planet, accounting for over 15% of the global total. Okay, now for a source that comes from deep inside the Earth itself. Geothermal energy literally taps into our planet's natural heat. And this is nothing new. The ancient Romans used it to build their famous public baths on hot springs. Today, we use that same steam to power turbines, although it's still a small player, making up less than 1% of global electricity. And our final tool in the kit is biomass. This is basically energy we get from organic stuff. Think wood chips, leftover crops, or even waste. We burn this material to create steam, which then generates electricity. It currently gives us about 2.3% of the world's electricity and is a really important piece of the puzzle for displacing fossil fuels. So we've got the tools, but let's be real. Changing the entire planet's energy system isn't exactly a walk in the park. We need to take a clear-eyed look at both the amazing benefits and the very real challenges of going green. So from a 30,000-foot view, the trade-off kind of looks like this. On one hand, the benefits are huge. Clean, unlimited power that's getting cheaper by the day. But on the other hand, the drawbacks are serious hurdles we have to figure out, like what to do when the sun isn't shining and how to cover those big upfront costs. Let's really dive into the good stuff. We're talking about zero emissions, which means cleaner air, better public health, and a real weapon against climate change. We're tapping into resources that, unlike fossil fuels, will never run out. And this is a huge one. It's not just about the planet, it's about jobs. The shift to a net zero world is projected to create a net gain of 9 million jobs globally by 2030. That's a big deal. But we also have to be totally honest about the challenges. The sun doesn't shine at night, and the wind doesn't always blow. It's a problem called intermittency, and it means we need to invest a ton in energy storage, like massive batteries. These technologies also need a lot of land, and the upfront costs to build and install them are still pretty high. Okay, so that's the theory, but how does all this actually look in the real world? Well, let's zoom in on a fantastic case study, India. We're talking about the world's most populous nation and how it's tackling this massive energy transition head on. You see, India's journey with clean energy didn't just start yesterday.
They were building hydropower and nuclear research centers way back in the 1950s. But in the last decade, the pace has just been explosive, especially after a huge commitment they made back in 2015. And now, today, India is the third largest producer of renewable energy in the entire world.
And this chart really tells the story. You can see they're not just betting on one horse here. They have this really powerful, diverse mix, with solar, large hydro, and wind power basically forming the three main pillars of their whole strategy. It's a really balanced approach. And if you think that's impressive, India's ambition is only getting bigger. At the COP26 Climate Summit, the country announced a truly staggering goal to reach 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy capacity by 2030. I mean, that is a massive, massive signal to the rest of the world about where things are headed.
A goal like 500 gigawatts, or really any part of this global transition, brings up a huge question. How do we pay for all this? We're talking about a global infrastructure project that costs trillions of dollars. So let's look at one of the key financial tools that's making it all happen.
Say hello to the green bond. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. A government or a company issues a bond, just like a normal one, but the money they raise from it has to be used for projects that help the environment. Think building a new solar farm or a massive wind park. So what exactly does that money get spent on? Well, it goes directly into building the kind of future we need. It funds renewable energy, sure, but also things like making buildings more energy efficient, developing clean transportation like electric trains, and creating smarter ways to manage our waste. And it's really important to see this as part of a much bigger picture. This energy transition isn't just happening on its own. It's a core piece of the United Nations Global Plan for a Better World, fitting right under Goal 13, climate action. At the end of the day, it's about creating a more stable, prosperous, and peaceful planet for every single one of us. So we'll end with this question to think about. The technology is here. The costs are falling fast, making the economics work. Really, the only question left is about speed and scale. How fast can we, as a global community, actually build the new world, one powered by the natural forces of the sun, the wind, and water?